Hey, this is Meredith's husband. I've got some SEO advice for you, but I'm going to keep it really simple so that you can understand it, so it makes sense, and most importantly, so you can actually use it.
Hi.
Hi. We're going to talk about the Golden Rule of SEO today.
The Golden Rule.
Yeah. But first,
Yes.
I want to put it into a little bit of context because it's going to make more sense.
Okay.
Do you remember why we started this podcast?
Yes.
And would you like to share that with me?
I believe it was because I came over to you with the most recent, hey, all photographers need to do this SEO thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you hung your head in your hands.
It was debunking.
Debunking.
It was
okay.
debunking.
Oh, you want
all
the
that.
short version?
Oh, yeah. That was a mistake to ask you.
No kidding.
But that's exactly right. But yeah, the short version, debunking. Debunking. People would get all these tips, tricks, tactics, the newest SEO tactics, and I would often debunk them.
More than
and tell you what to do instead.
Yeah.
So, for example, a super common one that I think a lot of photographers have heard and we've talked about is putting keywords in your image tags.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Everybody needs to do that. To do that.
Every single one that goes on your website or any marketing.
Right. That was one that we hopefully debunked effectively and gave you the better approach to take.
Yes.
Another one, somebody actually just recently asked me, and they were trying to put more keywords onto their site, and they asked about this. I don't know if they came up with this themselves or heard it from somebody else, but they said, can we put text on the same color background so that it's not visible to users? Because they didn't want to just read. Of course, they don't want a website that looks like it's just stuffed with SEO garbage, right? And I was like, wow, that is a super clever idea. I literally paused and sat back and that's a very, very clever.
I think people have done it because I've highlighted and it's all keyword.
Yeah, it's a very clever idea, but yeah, lots of people have done it before, like in 2007, 2008. And so now there's a penalty for that. So don't do it.
Don't do it, people.
Yeah, don't do it. It's like if you do that, you're putting a signal right out there to Google, hey, I'm trying to trick you. I'm trying to sneak one past you.
Google don't like that.
Yeah, Google doesn't like that. So that was another one.
Okay.
One that I see all the time is when people write blogs.
Yes.
They end up writing the same blog over and over again based on their keywords.
Oh, right.
All the time they do this. Kind of makes sense. Or they have a blog. This one is common too. Let's say you have a blog with like 10 individual articles on it.
Okay.
And you got like 37 categories.
Okay. Oh,
so
gosh.
Does that make sense? Like
it's a little. My brain is catching up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's something that you're doing in order to appeal to Google
in inauthentic ways. Kind of trying a little too hard.
So that's another tactic that people were using, and similar to the alt tags and the text on the same colored background. They're things that used to work, but these tactics change.
Right. Because Google gets game to them.
Yes, exactly. So the problem with doing SEO this way is that every single year you got to learn the new tactics. Right.
The thing is that often people who teach, by the time they actually get things together, everything's changed.
Yeah.
And then they're teaching last year's news.
Yeah. Yeah. And the rate at which Google changes and these tactics works has slowed down. Like in the early days, the early years of SEO, like it was changing rapidly all the time. It doesn't change as frequently now, but it still changes from year to year.
Okay.
But that's not the way that I do SEO.
That's not the way I do.
And that's not the way I think you should think about SEO.
Okay.
SEO is actually not that difficult if you know the concepts. Because all of these tactics that we've covered, there's reasons behind them. But when you focus on the tactics instead of the reasons, you get into like a never-ending loop. You got to relearn tactics all the time. If you understand the reasons, the concepts of why these tactics works, you don't need to worry about the tactics so much. You don't need to learn new stuff every year. So, for example, when I hear about new tactics, I just think back to the concepts, and then I evaluate the tactics based on the concepts. Are these new tactics?
Know the concepts?
Well, the concepts are really very simple.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you the first one. The first one is the Golden Rule of SEO.
Okay.
And that is when you do something to your website, put an image on, whatever you do, when you build a website, are you doing it for Google or are you doing it for users?
Oh, users.
If you, yes, but people get stuck because we're doing SEO. The whole point of doing SEO is for Google, to make Google happy.
Right.
Well, I'll tell you a secret.
Okay.
If you are doing something on your website, whatever you're doing, if you're
This
doing
is
it,
just between you and me.
yeah, don't tell anybody this.
I won't tell anybody.
If you're doing it for users, if you're doing it to make a better user experience, then you are doing it for Google as well.
Oh, how
Remember,
about that?
that's what Google wants. You got to think about what Google wants. For the first 10, maybe even 20 years of Google, their business model was very simple.
Mm-hmm.
People, you go to Google, you do a search, you find a website that you like. Great. Next time you want to find a website, you go back to Google. Because the first time you do this, you get in the habit of using Google. Every once in a while, you click on one of the ads in Google and they make $1, $2, $3. They became like $500 billion company doing that. This is their business model. Now they probably would say they have a different business model.
I
And
would think so.
they want to get inside all of our brains and
Anyone's
whatever.
ever been in a Google building?
And so remember that Google's objective is to send their users
To the good place.
to websites that they like, that that create a good user experience. That's what Google wants to do. If you are doing that with your website, Google is going to like it.
Because they want to make sure that they direct you to precisely the best thing you're looking for, because then you're coming back to Google.
Next time you're going to come back to
saying,
Google,
right?
and then once in a while,
you on the Google.
they want you on Google. Because once in a while, you're going to click on an ad, and they're going to make some money. Yeah. They make a lot of money doing that.
Ooh,
I can't tell you how many times over the years I've heard people say, oh, nobody clicks on those ads. I never click on those ads. And I'm like, well, Google has several 100 billion reasons why they disagree with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But you can take this, well, the reason I call this the golden rule of SEO is because you can take it and you can apply it to anything.
Right.
Anything you are thinking of doing, anything at all to your website. Are you doing it to try to please Google, to try to sneak one past Google, to try to please the algorithm? Or are you doing it to make a better user experience?
Right. Better user experience.
A better user experience is good SEO.
Which is crazy because you would think, I'm gonna try and be friends with Google.
Right. So let's
hint, nudge, nudge, kiss, kiss.
Let's take just, for example, let's take this golden rule and apply it to the 3 examples I gave earlier. Right.
Okay.
Image alt tags.
Yeah.
When you stuff your keywords into all your image alt tags, are you doing that for Google or are you doing that for users?
Google.
You're doing that for Google. How about the text on the same colored background? Are you doing that for Google? Or are you doing that for users?
Google.
When you write the same blog with your keywords over and over,
Google.
are you right? You see where I'm going with this?
Google.
Yeah.
Huh? It's good to know. Those are golden tips.
And there are some things that it might not be apparent. Like, for example,
it might not be apparent.
Apparent, right. It might be that, you're supposed to put your keywords in your title tags. Now, you might say, for some things like this, you might say, but I seem to be doing that for Google, not users. When in reality, imagine this. You put your keywords in your title tags.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody out there does a search on Google.
Yeah.
They put whatever they type into their Google search box, that's their keyword.
Yes.
Then a whole bunch of sites show up. If your keywords are in your title tags, the users are going to see those and they're going to match up. Right. So in effect, you are doing it for users. You're showing to users, hey, what is this page about?
Way.
Yeah, this is always the case. I've never come across a situation where you do something just for Google and there's no reason. Everything that Google wants to see somehow is creating a better user experience. Here's a different way to remember it.
Okay.
Google is not trying to reward people for figuring out some SEO riddle. There's no secret combination.
Secret handshake.
Of where it's like, Google's like, oh, they figured it out. Put them on the top. And that kind of seems to be the approach. People are always looking for like the secret handshake, essentially.
Seriously. That's exactly ways to beat Google.
There's no secret handshake.
To beat the algorithm.
Yeah, don't do that. That's bad. That's bad SEO.
Yeah. But that's what so many people.
Well, that's the way SEO started, to be honest. It's the SEO, it's our own fault. I used to do it too in the, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. You would look for loopholes and you would figure them out, and then you have a website that jumps to number 1 like overnight. Wow, fantastic, awesome. That's what SEO was for quite a while.
Right. No, that's a very interesting way to come at it.
Yeah, so especially if you're just starting SEO, it's great. Don't worry about trying to memorize all sorts of different things that you need to do.
Right.
Just focus on one thing at a time. And I would say first thing to focus on, create a good user experience.
How about that?
Google likes that.
Yes! Go Superman! Hey, thank you so much for listening. We really hope that you find this helpful and useful. And if you do, what you could do for us as a thanks would be to, drumroll please, yes, leave a review. Yes, everybody says it, I know, but it really does make a difference. Take 3 seconds, leave as many stars, say something really nice about what you like about the podcast and maybe why other people would like it. It would mean the world to us, especially my husband. That better? All right, I'm going to try one where I'm not going to be charming.